Hi everybody, it's Miss Yiser, the art teacher at MAS, and I'm here to do a video with you for you and your children as an art activity if you're looking for something that takes a little bit more time. So this is not a requirement, this is just a resource for you if you feel like your child would enjoy something like this, and of course you can adapt it however you see fit. But I'm going to start by saying you need 2 pieces of white paper and some sort of coloring tool. So whether it's crayons or markers or paint, whatever you might have at home. So I began by creating 6 boxes, and then I colored all 6 boxes in with the colors of the rainbow. And this is something that you can do with your child, whether it's hand over hand, or you can cut out the boxes and just give them the little pieces and ask them to color them each a different color. You can help them with that. When you are done with this, we're going to get into some cutting. And I know cutting is hard for a lot of our amazing artists, but I always create a line and I try to help the children to cut on the line. Now, it's okay if it's not perfect, but the idea is to separate all of the colors. So I'm cutting on the line, and of course, if you need to help your children with this, that's obviously fine. With any steps that I'm doing, if your child needs help with that specific step, feel free to jump on in. After you've cut, or the children have cut each color separate, we have the colors of the rainbow. Now, what you do with these is completely up to you. These can be used to be torn up or cut and to create like sort of a mosaic springtime picture. That was my original idea, but if you're creative and you have another idea, feel free to do that. So now we have these colorful pieces of paper. If you wanted to get some sort of glass or a stencil, you could trace or have your children trace to make different shapes and then cut them out if you really want them to work on some cutting stuff. But if not, ripping is always really, really great. So I'm just gonna point my camera down. This is sometimes a challenge, but the pinching and then pulling in 2 separate directions, where they're basically just having to rip these pieces. And from here, once they've got some different colored papers torn, now they can use this to follow along on a picture. So, I mean, something super basic would be to maybe do like a springtime theme, because I know that the classroom teachers might be working with a theme. And so if you can figure out a drawing to do each day that has to do with the theme, then you can go ahead and do that. But I'm going to just go ahead and do a rainbow. So the rainbow has 6 colors. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what I would do is I would have the child take the glue stick and go over one of the curves. If you really want to be super helpful, you can create a line in the color. They'll follow the line with the glue stick, and I don't actually have a glue stick, so I'm just pretending. And then, depending on your child, you can have them find red. So, you can go, okay, touch red. They'll touch red, and then you can have them put on. And they would just create, and you can rip these smaller if you need to. It's more of the process of, ripping, which is really good for their fine motor skills, identifying colors, maybe having them repeat the colors with you, and then putting on and pressing. And then I would just go through. Like I said, this is an activity that could take, a little more time if you're looking for something to do. So for example, on a rainy day, if they're inside, they can even come back to this. So if you want to start here and then come back to it in another time. It's just, and it really does come out very beautiful in the end. But that's never what it's about. It's never about the final product. It's always about the process and the fine motor and, you know, the activities and the vocabulary and the language and the following directions and all that good stuff. So, but you guys already know that. You're professional at-home teachers at this point. I hope everybody's holding up okay and feeling a little bit more comfortable now that we got day one out of our way. And please feel free to email me with anything that you need advice on or are looking for ideas. And I posted I have a Google Classroom. It's called Art Exploration, and there's videos that I'm putting up, fun activities that you can do that are more sensory driven. So for example, how to dye rice is one of the videos that I just put up. You could dye rice, you could dye pasta noodles, you could dye beans, and then your children can either just play with them as a sensory thing, or you can actually do an activity similar where they're like putting, you need liquid glue at that point, but you could put liquid glue and have them sprinkle the different colors onto the paper to make an artwork. So I hope that this was helpful, and I miss all of you so much, to all of my students, and I really hope to see you soon. And parents, feel free to post photos of the kids' work on my Art Exploration Google Classroom page. I will leave the codes on all the teachers' pages so that if you want to join, you can. All right, guys.